When is St. George's Day? 17th of March, 30th of... Which is the largest national park in England? Snowdonia, Loch... Boudicca was a tribal leader who fought against which foreign invaders? The Normans, Which of the following poems is about a group of people going on a pilgrimage? How are public holidays called? Bank holidays? How did Charles II manage to escape to Europe after his defeat in the Civil War? Hiding in a farmer's house? Who defeated the Vikings? Harold? Edward I? Who was William Caxton? A poet who wrote about a group of people going to Canterbury on... Where do beefeaters serve as tour guides? The Houses of Parliament, the Tower of London, the O... During the rebellion of the clans in Scotland, Bonnie Prince Charlie was supported by clansmen from which Scottish region? Glasgow. What religion did Elizabeth I follow? She was a Protestant? Or... Who became famous for his tramp character in silent movies? Sir Rex. Which armed force was used in the Battle of Britain? The Royal Navy, the Police Force, the Naval Service, or the Royal Air Force? In the UK, you have to be 21 years old to be able to vote in a general election. Which of the following poets was inspired by nature? John Masefield, Wilfred Owen, Siegfried Sassoon. Against which country did the British fight at the Battle of Waterloo? Who was William Wilberforce? A poet? A sport? Who is the spiritual leader of the Church of England? The Archbishop of Canterbury? The Archbishop of... James I was king of which country before becoming King of England? Wales. Which of the following statements is correct? Most shops in the UK open 7 days a week. Which country sent a fleet of ships to England in 1588? France, Germany, Spain, or... Where is the National Horse Racing Museum located? Edinburgh. Which of the following castles is located in Scotland? Craith Castle. Who was a famous Art Deco ceramic designer? Alexander McQueen, Thomas Chippendale, Clarice Cliff. When is St. Patrick's Day celebrated? 23rd of April, 30th of November, 1st of April, or 17th of March? How are the members of the Northern Ireland Parliament elected? By a system of... Who was the first British Prime Minister? Winston Churchill, Earl of Wilmington, Henry Pelham. Which of the following actresses has not won an Oscar? During the Enlightenment, Adam Smith developed ideas about physics. Who died at the Battle of Trafalgar? Admiral Nelson, Henry VIII. When is Hogmanay celebrated? 25th of December, 2nd of... Proceedings in Parliament are broadcast on television and published in official reports known as canvassing. Which of the following is a rugby competition? The Scottish Grand National, the Wimbledon Championships, the Ash... Who appoints life peers in the House of Lords? Who mapped the coast of Australia? James Cook, Admiral Nelson. What was the first war to be extensively covered by the media? The Boer War, the First World War. Which of the following monuments is located in Wiltshire? Hadrian. Who was the first Archbishop of Canterbury? St. How old do you have to be to go into betting shops or gambling clubs? 18? The system of government in the UK is a parliamentary democracy. True or false? What is the traditional food of Northern Ireland? Haggis? Pancakes? Who was elected as British Prime Minister in 1945? Clement Attlee, Winston Churchill. How many times has the UK hosted the Olympic Games? 5, 3, 4. Why were canals built during the Industrial Revolution? To link the factories to towns and cities and to the ports, to make space for the large fleet of British ships. Are civil servants appointed by the government? Yes or no? Which of the following countries helped Britain to develop the Concorde? Germany. Which invention led to the development of Britain during the Industrial Revolution? Who was the tribal leader who fought against the Romans? Columba, Claudius, Hadrian. Which two languages were used across England during the Middle Ages? Welsh, Gaelic. In 1776, which British colonies declared their independence because they demanded that there should be no taxation without representation? North. When was England ruled by a republic and not by a monarch? When Elizabeth. Which film produced in the UK was one of the most commercially successful films of all time and one of the highest-grossing film franchises? When did the first farmers come to Britain? 10,000 years ago? 6,000 years ago? When did the First World War end? At 12 p.m. on. Can court orders be obtained to protect a person from being forced? What medal did Mary Peters win in the 1972 Olympics? She did not. In England, Wales and Northern Ireland, youth court cases are normally heard by, choose 2 answers, up to 3 specially trained magistrates, a district judge, a sheriff. What was invented by Alan Turing in the 1930s? The jet engine, the television, the Turing machine. Which of the following tells us about how people lived in England just after the Norman conquest? The Magna Carta. Who led a team of scientists to split the atom for the first time? What song is sung by people in the UK and other countries when they are celebrating the New Year? Auld Lang Syne. Who fought in the English Civil War of 1642? The House of York and the House of Lancaster? The Anglo-Saxon. Which 2 of these forts were part of Hadrian's Wall? Vindolanda, Maiden Castle, Housesteads, or what was the religion of the Puritans? Hindi? What is the name of Irish people who favoured complete independence from the UK in the 90s? Which 2 British pop music groups were famous during the swinging 60s? What is the minimum age required to drive a motorcycle? 16. The members of the House of Lords, known as peers, are elected by the people. True. When did the Emancipation Act abolish slavery throughout the British Empire? 1835, 18. Who is responsible for crime, policing and immigration? What kind of genre was the film Wallace and Gromit created by Nick Park? A soap opera? Anyone who is violent towards their partner, whether they are a man or a woman, married or living together, can be prosecuted. When was the United Nations set up? After the First World War? After the Second World War? Where is the Giant's Causeway located? Scotland? England? What happened to Mary, Queen of Scots, after being sent to prison for 20 years by her cousin Queen Elizabeth I? She got married. What is the Queen's speech about during the opening of the UK Parliament? What the royal family did the previous year? What the government did the previous year? What business matters the royal family will conduct? What is one of the highest grossing film franchises produced in the UK? James Bond. Who can hear cases in youth courts in England, Wales and Northern Ireland? 2 answers. Specially, who came from the Netherlands to become the British monarch? William II, Who can apply for the National Citizen Service Program? 14 and 15-year-olds? Nick Park has won 4 Oscars for his animated films, including 3 for films featuring Chariots of Fire. Who was the British scientist who co-discovered the structure of the DNA molecule in the 1950s? Sir Ian. What percentage of the UK population has a parent or grandparent born outside of the UK? Around. How old do you have to be to drive a moped in the UK? 15. Who was the leader of the Labour Party who introduced a Scottish Parliament and a Welsh Assembly? James. What is the maximum amount you can claim through the small claims procedure in Scotland and Northern Ireland? 3. Which historical monument did William the Conqueror build? St Paul's Cathedral? Who became Prime Minister after Margaret Thatcher and played an important part in the Northern Ireland peace process? James Callaghan? Who should you contact to report a terrorist activity? Your local council? Your local MP? Which Paralympic athlete has won gold medals for swimming at the 2008, 2012 and 2? Each of the UK countries is associated with a flower symbol. Which country is associated with the rose? Wales? Northern Ireland? Isambard Kingdom Brunel was responsible for the construction of the Great Western Railway, the invention of the television. What is the Commonwealth? An organisation responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in its member countries, a group of European and North American countries that have agreed to help each other if they come under attack, an association of countries that support each other and work together towards shared goals in democracy and development, or under which name was the movement of opinion against the authority of the Pope during the times of Henry VIII known? The Spanish Inquisition? What did Isaac Newton discover? Gravity? Penicillin? What kind of movies did Academy Award winner Nick Park specialise in? Action movies? Animated movies? Thrillers? Or horror movies?